6 Manipulative Tactics Women Use to Control You. 1. The Emotional Victim Trap. She has mastered the art of emotional manipulation by positioning herself as the perpetual victim. Every argument, every disagreement, somehow it always comes back to her pain, her suffering, and how you're responsible for it. It's a subtle but powerful tactic that plays on your empathy. She knows that by presenting herself as the innocent party, you'll feel guilty enough to give in to her demands or neglect your own feelings. It's a method designed to handcuff you emotionally and make you doubt your actions, while she quietly pulls the strings. What makes this tactic so effective is the way she encourages you to become her emotional guardian. She doesn't need to ask you directly to do things for her. Instead, she creates a narrative in which you feel obliged to meet her needs. Because she's been through so much, you become the fixer, constantly trying to repair her emotional state, while she sits back and reaps the benefits. This is manipulation, but it disguises it as vulnerability, making it hard to spot unless you're really paying attention. 2. The silent treatment. Sometimes the most powerful words are the ones you don't say. Women who use the silent treatment know exactly what they're doing. By ceasing to communicate with you and leaving you in the dark, they create a psychological storm that leaves you uncomfortable, uncertain, and desperate for a solution. This tactic plays on your natural desire for harmony and stability in relationships. When she falls silent, you begin to question yourself, rethinking every conversation, wondering where you went wrong. It's a deliberate maneuver to take control without uttering a single word. This silence can last for hours, even days, until you go back, trying to make things right, and that's exactly what she wants. The more you try to bridge the gap, the more she takes control of the situation. It's all about making you uncomfortable enough to come to her on her terms, even if she's the one who caused the problem in the first place. You may not realize it, but during these periods of silence, she's waiting for you to take the lead, knowing that every second of silence erodes your trust. 3. The gaslighting technique. Gaslighting is one of the most insidious tactics of manipulation. It involves making you doubt your own reality, your own perceptions. She distorts conversations, denies what she has said, and manipulates situations so that you question your memory and judgment. You'll begin to wonder if you're the one who's crazy, even though you know deep down that something doesn't add up. This tactic makes you constantly doubt yourself, which gives it the edge in every situation, because you're no longer sure what's real and what's not. The intelligence of gaslighting lies in its subtlety. It doesn't need to lie overtly. It just needs to sow enough doubt. It's in the little comments, the shrugging conversations, the way she brushes off your concerns as if they weren't important. Over time, these little manipulations build up until you're questioning your own sanity. And that's when she wins. Once you've lost confidence in your own mind, she can dictate the reality of the relationship, spinning things in her favor while you struggle to make sense of it all. You'll end up apologizing for things you didn't even do, or accepting blame for situations you know weren't your fault. This is the ultimate goal of gaslighting: to make you doubt yourself, to the point of ceding control to it, while believing that it's you who's at fault. The longer the situation goes on, the harder it is to untangle the web of lies and regain your self-esteem. 4. Manipulating your social circle. A woman who knows how to manipulate will use your social circle against you. She subtly sow doubt and discontent among your friends, family, or colleagues, leading them to question your decisions, your character, or even your relationship. She may do this under the guise of worrying or concern, but her aim is to isolate you from people who might support or validate your point of view. By sowing discord in your network, she weakens your support system, making you more dependent on her for approval and affirmation. She often starts in small ways, mentioning to your friend that you're distant, or hinting to your family that she's worried about your behavior. It's all done with a smile and a soft voice, but the implications are powerful. Over time, you'll notice that your loved ones start to treat you differently, question your decisions, even side with her in times of conflict. And the worst part, you may not realize it until it's too late, because his manipulation is so subtle, so well disguised, that it goes unnoticed. 5. The damsel in distress power play. The damsel in distress routine isn't about helplessness, it's about power. Women who use this tactic know that by appearing vulnerable and in need of rescuing, they can trigger your protective instincts. You rush to help her, to solve her problems, and, in doing so, you become more invested in her. The more you invest in her, the more weight she carries. It's a classic manipulative tactic that plays on your desire to be the hero. But what you may not realize is that she's orchestrating the whole scenario to her advantage. Every time you rescue her, whether from a financial problem, an emotional crisis, or a conflict with someone else, you're not just helping her, you're deepening your emotional and psychological ties with her. And she knows it. The more you help her, the more you feel responsible for her well-being. She's not just playing the victim. She's reinforcing your role as savior and making sure you come back, even if it's at your expense. 6. You're overreacting rejection. This is a classic deflection tactic used to invalidate your feelings and prevent you from addressing the real issues. When you express your concerns or frustrations, she's quick to put a stop to them by saying, "You're overreacting or being too sensitive." The aim is to make you doubt your own emotional reactions, forcing you to repress your feelings to avoid conflict. This keeps the relationship on its terms, as your feelings are never fully acknowledged or taken into account. Over time, this tactic can give you the impression that your emotions don't matter. You begin to internalize the idea that your concerns are irrational and stop bringing them up. This not only gives him greater control over the dynamics of the relationship, but also allows him to silence you, ensuring that any problems are swept under the carpet before they disrupt his control. The longer this goes on, the more power she has over your emotional state. You're trained to minimize your own feelings and prioritize hers, even when your concerns are valid. It's a slow erosion of your emotional autonomy, and, by the time you realize it, you're already immersed in a cycle of manipulation, where her feelings take precedence over everything else. So that's it for this video, guys. If you found this video interesting and informative as well, please subscribe if you haven't done that already. Turn on the notification bell. Like this video, drop a comment below. Share this video with your family and friends, and see you in my next video. Bye.